Hey, sorry for the delay. I'll tell you more about why I was delayed, besides with finals and stuff, when next time I do a blog. But today, we're going to talk about my favorite artist. Yes! I've been waiting so long to do this, and I've been planning it in my head, for a long time. And I even sort of semi-scripted it out, so maybe this will be more organized than usual. Okay, so, my favorite yaoi artist is Naono Bohra-san. And I like her for a million bazillion reasons, but I can break it up easily into two categories for you: her art and her stories. So let's start with the art, shall we? She has a very unique style. It is definitely recognizable. You won't really have one of those moments where you're like, oh, it could be this artist, but it could be this one. Maybe it's this one. No. You look at it, you go, yep, that's Bohra-san. Because she has a really cool kind of hybrid of typical manga style, but also, realistic, almost sketching style. And it's really, really cool. I mean, she's one of the few manga artists that I look at her pencil work, because sometimes she publishes doujinshi with just her pencil work in it because she didn't feel like inking it. And oh my god, it's so cool. It looks so cool and pretty and soft and it's so cool. She has just amazing skills. I mean, it's not just that it looks cool, but you can tell that she's spent hours and hours just drawing stuff. I mean, and it's not just people, you read a manga and there's a cat, and you're just it's cute, but it doesn't really look like a cat. Her cats look like cats. Her wolves look like wolves. Her tigers look like tigers, and they're amazing. Amazing. I mean, and she draws all this fantasy stuff, and so, her demons look like fucking demons. And it's so good. And on top of that, she has the most adorable chibi expressions. They're not super cutesy, but it's just the shifting of expressions is just so good. And she draws the most adorable children's I've ever seen, and I'm just oh, I wanna hug you. And look at the hands that she draws. Oh my god, just look at them. They're amazing. They're man hands, but they have lines and knuckles and feet. She draws feet. How many times do you see freaking toes and calf muscles and in any manga? Because they're hard. And she just draws them bam! I drew feet, bitches. Take that. And you can tell the difference between the boys and the girls. And if you notice that with yaoi too, the girls either the boys look ridiculously girly or the girls look really mannish. No. Girls are cute and the guys are cool, and it looks the only boy I ever had trouble distinguishing gender was this one. And that's just because the long hair threw me off, because she doesn't draw guys with long hair really often. And he's young and stuff. But yeah, it was the only time I ever had gender confusion. It's just so good. Love it. And then the storylines. Now, the previous things I've reviewed, a lot of them are very silly, and they make fun of yaoi. You have, the crazy gangster looking dude is the bottom, and the nice looking guy is the top, and the old guy is the short old guy is the bottom, or he's the top, and she, as I mentioned before, she draws a ton of fantasy, and those of you who've watched me for a while know that I'm a huge fantasy nerd. always. So I love that kind of stuff because she builds like these great worlds, and you're just like I want to eat your brain and get your ideas because they're really cool. And she has a whole series based on Babylonian mythology. How often do you see Babylonian mythology? I mean, it's almost gone. There's like 3 surviving stories that are like uniquely Babylonian, not the stuff they stole from the Sumerians. She uses them as a basis for like this story, but she also expounds on it. Expounds, yeah, I think. But she builds on it, and it's so good. She draws dragons and gods and giant dog and snake, and it's so good. Oh, and it's not just like this, Yaoi has like these categories where it's just like, there's the older guys in the offices, or there's the Yakuza, and there's the high school boys. She has done, actually I don't think she's ever done the Yakuza story, but she's done the other 2. But they're like unique. Like the high school stories always have like some weird twists to them. There's one that stars like a football player. I mean, how often, American football player. Like, what? But it's so good. It's always baseball because Japan's huge on baseball. No, he's an American football player, and he's like dating his neighbor, and his friend is this really tall, shy kid, and he has a crush on his best friend who's like this really short football player, and it's so good. I love her stuff, and I guess I'll make like, I actually bought her books at Otakon. Like they're that, I was like, ooh, look, a yaoi table, hey, do you have Naono Bohra stuff? And she's like, yeah, I do. And I'm like, I love you. And we spent like 5 minutes, not 5, more like 20 minutes just talking about it, and I was like, yes. And she mentioned that like the day before some girl had bought most of it, and I'm like, do you like know who it was? And she's like, no. And I'm like, darn it, because I want to meet her. So if you were at Otakon last year and you bought a bunch of books by Naono Bohra on Friday, let me know if that was you, because you're my new best friend. No, that's mean. And second best friend, you can tell I'm really excited. Yeah. So I'm a huge nerd, and I love her stuff. So I'm gonna make a list in the sidebar of my favorite manga by her. I mean, you've already seen a bunch of them in the video, but I'll make like a list, and they're all on Manga Fox if you want to read them. Manga Fox. I don't know if they're on One Manga, so you can find out, I guess, because you have the titles right there. So I highly recommend her. I will warn you though, she draws a shitload of sex scenes. So if that kind of stuff bothers you, yeah, they all have sex scenes. I honestly can't think of one that doesn't. And if you don't like older guys, because she's old and likes older guys, I don't hold it against her, because she has a really good sense of humor about it. Like if you read her extra notes, she's so funny. So like, Maizuru, which is a character in Fingertips Love, she's like, yeah, he's technically like 32, but when I originally designed his character, he was 38, so that's how I drew him, even though he's technically 32. So, because my editor told me to make him younger, because he was too old, but I like him as 38, so he's 38 on the inside. And I'm like, I love you. So yeah, this is probably really long already, so bye. So next week I'm going to review a more serious story, because I've been doing all these comedies and parodies. But I don't know which one I'm going to do yet, so it'll be a surprise for everybody. See you next week.